All right, I'll tell you why it is I haven't paid no rent to the man. Because I got sick and tired of it. I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. Of being sick and tired. Keep playing with that, brother. What happened was, I found out that the bank never loaned me and my mama real money. They lent me phony money. Money that they didn't even have in any account. So I said, hello, if you can give me paper, I can give you paper too. Hello. Hey, see if you got another chord, Bert. Test one, test. See? Test one, test two. How's that? Test. You see, what happens is, when they give you paper that's not backed by gold, they said that Federal Reserve notes are dollars if the two people exchanging it between each other agree it's dollars. But if one person doesn't agree it's a dollar, it ain't a dollar. So I chose not to agree anymore. So I clipped out a CMO, and I gave them about $20,000. I just wrote $20,000 extra dollars on it for them, above and beyond the amount I owed them. And I sent it out saying, paid in full. They sent me back and said, Mr. Valentine, this is not money, and we don't understand why you would want to do this. Your house is in foreclosure, and we want to understand why you're doing these little games in order to... So I sent them back another letter. And I said, sir, you sent back this CMO, which is legal tender, based upon the legal tender you gave me. And I cannot understand why it is that you want to harass me now. You've been paid in full. So they said, this is ludicrous. We are about to move you into foreclosure. So I said, okay, bet. I wrote a 9th Amendment complaint at law. And I filed it with the Supreme Court. And I said that they fraudulently gave me money that wasn't money. And I mailed it to them. And they said, oh, no. See, when I did it 9th Amendment complaint at common law. See, common law is different from the equity that they put you in. You got to remember that a lawyer is a foreign agent. He has no jurisdiction over you. He doesn't even have a license to practice law in any of the states. There is no license to practice law. Is there a lawyer in the house? Does anybody know a lawyer? Now, let me ask you a question. You go to this lawyer, and you ask them if they have a license. Guess what they'll say? Oh, sure. No, they have the license to practice, not a license to practice. You can call up to the Department of the State or to the appellate court down here, downtown, which I'm raising hell now. Because you see, the Cullen and Dyckman is the name of the law firm, and Mr. Joseph P. Haggerty is the one, the dog that sicked on me. And I asked for a license. This is funny because I called up the appellate court and I said, hello, sir, I'd like to know if I can acquire a certified true copy of the license to practice law in the state of New York for one James P. Haggerty, please. Guy on the other end said, Phil? I said, who is this? He said, Phil Valentine? I said, yeah. He said, Elton. I said, what are you doing answering the phone at the appellate court? He said, I've been working here. I said, good, maybe you can help me. I said, I need to get a license on a lawyer to see whether this lawyer has a license. He says to me, oh, yeah, he has a license. I said, well, good, give me a copy. He said, nope, can't do it. I said, why not? He says, well, it's private property. I said, private property? I said, he's practicing in the state. Didn't the state give it to him? I said, yes. Well, it's public knowledge. It's public record. You give me a copy of that. Well, I can't because that's not. So he's arguing with me for a half hour on the phone. saying, no, there is a license to practice. Then he gets off and he goes to his immediate man, Rosenthal, his overseer, right? An officer says to him, well, he put me on hold, and I'm click. He says, wait a minute, Phil. And this is after a half hour. He says, you may have something there. I said, oh, really? He said, yeah. He said, there's no technical license. And he said, wait a minute, this is blowing my mind. Phil, what did you stumble upon? I said, go back and get him, tell him to get me a license. He was back. He said, Phil, what did you do? He says, wait a minute. He says, I'm going to hook you into him. So he hooks into him. I said, sir, I'd like to have a copy of the license to practice law for this lawyer. Well, what I can do is give you a certificate of good standing. Nope, that's not what I want. I want a license. I could give you that he paid up all his dues and he's a charter member of the bar. Nope, that's not what I want. I want a license to practice law, to have the temerity to try to collect a debt from me, an American citizen. Because remember, once he accepted a title of nobility, he lost his American citizenship. So he's a foreign agent, and he never let me know he was a foreign agent. So I said to him, you get me a license, I'm going to write for it, and I want that. Now, I didn't know that they're kissing cousins down there. So Elton calls me back. He said, Phil, what did you tell him? I said, why? He said, man, all the lights are on now. He said, this place is humming. What did you say to him? I said, give me a license for that lawyer. And I told him, I said, if you can find a license, I'll come work for you. So he said, oh, man, he said, I got to take an early lunch. I don't know what you did. He said, this place is crazy. Then he goes into this kind of blow-by-blow account. He says, I don't know, man, there's the lights. Oh, he went over. Well, he just tapped into the clerk of the court, chief clerk, Brownstein. I said, oh, okay, Brownstein. He said, well, he's talking to him now. He's like, oh, Brownstein just put on his security on his phone, so nobody could tap in. He said, Phil, what the hell did you say? He said, oh, Brownstein just started his tape recorder. He said, Phil, what did you do? He said, nothing. I said, I just started the truth rolling. He said, I got to take an early lunch. I'll talk to you later. He hung up, and these guys had the temerity to bring me back some serious, embroidery with all this, tassels hanging from it. This guy has a license to practice. We say so. No. That's not the license. No lawyer has a license, or no liar has a license. Anyway, do you know who the lawyer's first duty is to? The courts? Who's the second duty to? The judge. And to the state. Right? Who's his third duty to? The other lawyer. Who's his fourth duty to? Himself. Who's his fifth duty to? Nope. You're not even in there yet. That is why in Corpus Juris Secundum, you listen for this, you go over there and find it in this law books. Corpus Juris Secundum says that if you take an attorney, or you get an attorney, it means that you are infantile and febile of mind. Look at O.J. Simpson. He looks feeble of mind. He can't talk for himself. He's got these two white folks talking for him. You see what I'm saying?
Just make sure this plug is screwed up. I don't think it is.
Hello. Okay. So he's feeble of mind. That's Corpus Juris Secundum. It's in their books. They got it buried in there. And that's the lawyer's oath. Corpus Juris Secundum, CJS, 7 CJS. You look in that book. So there's no lawyers. There's over 90% of Congress are lawyers, which means that nobody in Congress is legitimate, right? So who's running the government?